Sinbad the Sailor, a cornerstone of the 1001 Nights, is renowned for his astounding wealth and equally astounding misfortunes at sea. Though he appears in Baghdad as a man of leisure, his fortune was not inherited, but rather earned through 7 distinct perilous voyages. Our story begins not with a beginning, but with an old man reflecting on the incredible cost of his vast self-made empire. This reflection highlights the recurring theme that great fortune demands great sacrifice.
After squandering his inheritance, Sinbad resolved to become a merchant, driven by both a thirst for adventure and a desire to recoup his lost wealth through ambitious trade. He believed that the only true path to lasting success lay far beyond the safe harbors of Baghdad, necessitating extraordinary risks. This fundamental blend of entrepreneurial spirit and restless curiosity underpinned all his subsequent reckless decisions, pushing unknown oceans. He embarked on his first journey, full of naive excitement for the possibilities ahead. The first voyage introduced Sinbad immediately to the savage absurdity of the sea, highlighting his initial inexperience. Mistaking a gigantic, sleeping sea creature for a habitable island, the crew disembarked and lit cooking fires upon its back to celebrate their landing. The intense heat caused the creature to submerge violently, tossing the entire company and all their goods into the churning ocean below. Sinbad miraculously clung to a piece of floating debris, becoming the sole survivor of this disastrous first venture.
Drifted ashore onto a true island, Sinbad was discovered by the king's stablemasters, who were collecting magnificent horses that grazed near the sea. The benevolent King Miraj, impressed by Sinbad's tale of survival, quickly elevated him to a position of trust and responsibility within the royal court. This pattern of catastrophic loss, followed by royal patronage, would repeat throughout his life, demonstrating his inherent charm and ability to adapt. Eventually, Sinbad recovered some of his original trade goods and returned to Baghdad wealthy, only to find the lure of the ocean irresistible. During his second journey, Sinbad was accidentally abandoned by his shipmates on a deserted and terrifying island, forcing him to confront isolation. Exploring the strange, desolate landscape, he soon discovered the colossal egg of the mythical bird, the roc, a creature large enough to carry elephants in its talons. When the enraged parent bird returned to its nest high above the cliffs, Sinbad quickly formulated a desperate, high-stakes plan to escape his desolate prison using the bird's own power. Knowing the local legend that merchants threw massive joints of raw meat into the deep valley below to retrieve diamonds stuck to the meat, Sinbad tightly strapped himself to one of the raw pieces, using his turban. The gigantic roc, mistaking the bundle for a morsel or prey, snatched him up and carried him high above the dangerous cliffs and into the air. He was subsequently dropped into the treacherous Valley of Diamonds, a place guarded not by men, but by giant, deadly serpents lurking amongst the gems. Sinbad's third voyage was marked by a sudden, devastating storm that drove his ship onto the shores of an island inhabited by ferocious, cannibalistic pygmies and a monstrous Cyclops. The terrifying one-eyed ogre, far larger than any man, captured Sinbad and his crew, intending to eat them slowly over many days. They were cruelly imprisoned in a dark cave, witnessing their doomed shipmates devoured daily by the brute. Recognizing the need for immediate, brutal action, Sinbad devised a plan mirroring the ancient tactics of desperation and guile. He and the remaining crew heated 2 large iron spits intensely in the fire until they glowed bright red. They then plunged the fiery points directly into the giant's single eye while it slept soundly from its last meal. The blinding attack allowed the desperate survivors to flee the cave under the cover of the monstrous creature's agony and darkness. After successfully evading the Cyclops, Sinbad and his companions constructed a sturdy raft, only to land on yet another island plagued by massive, deadly serpents that could devour elephants. These enormous, swift creatures pursued them relentlessly, threatening to crush their fragile escape vessel. Sinbad miraculously managed to signal a passing ship using a makeshift banner from the shore, finally escaping the triple horrors of the ogre, the serpents, and crushing despair.
The fourth voyage ended in a disastrous shipwreck on the coast of India, where Sinbad was thankfully welcomed by a local king who treated him with great respect. Sinbad quickly impressed the court with his wit and knowledge of foreign trade, leading to him marrying a noblewoman from a wealthy family. However, he soon discovered the island's gruesome custom. When one spouse died, the surviving partner was sealed alive in a subterranean tomb with them, alongside food and water for only a few days.
When Sinbad's wife tragically died, he was lowered into the deep, dark ossuary, intended to starve to death slowly among the dead. Using his wits, he conserved his rations and, crucially, began killing the other recently entombed survivors for their meager remaining supplies. Discovering a tunnel leading to the open sea, he gathered precious jewels from the corpses he passed and finally escaped the macabre fate, signaling a passing vessel to ensure his return home incredibly wealthy.
The fifth voyage featured a terrifying attack by giant flying creatures that dropped massive stones onto the ship from high altitude, sinking it instantly without warning. Sinbad, once again floating on wreckage, was washed ashore on a vibrant yet ominously desolate island in the deep tropics. Here, he encountered an apparently frail elderly man who begged Sinbad to carry him across a stream, claiming he was too infirm to walk.
Once Sinbad obliged, the old man of the sea, Sheikh al-Bahr, wrapped his powerful leathery legs around Sinbad's neck like a python, refusing to dismount and becoming a ruthless parasite. For days and nights, the old man rode Sinbad like a beast of burden, directing him and forcing him to harvest fruits, often nearly strangling him in the process. This tormenting relationship only ended when Sinbad tricked his tormentor into drinking potent, fermented grape juice, causing him to loosen his lethal grip in drunken stupor.
The sixth voyage brought Sinbad to a shore where volcanic ash and extreme winds had wrecked his ship, leaving him trapped in a region of staggering geological complexity. This desolate island was crisscrossed by subterranean rivers that ran through caves lined with emeralds, rubies, and colossal pieces of ambergris. This natural wealth, however, was inaccessible due to the sheer cliffs and the swift, dangerous currents of the underground waterways.
Sinbad constructed a small, sturdy raft and drifted through a long, dark subterranean channel, eventually emerging into the prosperous and advanced kingdom of Serendib, modern Sri Lanka. He quickly presented the benevolent king of Serendib with a massive diamond that he had painstakingly salvaged from the riverbed. The king, delighted by the magnificent gift and Sinbad's compelling story, offered him safe passage and royal gifts to take back to the Caliph in Baghdad, cementing a vital international trade route. Sinbad returned to Baghdad bearing not only massive personal wealth, but also a crucial diplomatic mission, carrying exotic presents from Serendib's king, including rare spices and enormous elephant tusks. He presented these prestigious gifts to the Caliph Harun al-Rashid, thereby securing his position as one of the most respected and wealthy merchants of the Abbasid Empire. Despite the recurring dangers, the unparalleled prestige and wealth of the journeys kept drawing him back to the sea. The seventh and final voyage proved to be the most tragically dramatic, involving another devastating shipwreck and immediate capture by ruthless slavers. Sinbad was sold to a wealthy local merchant who specialized in hunting elephants for their valuable ivory, a perilous and often futile task in the deep jungle. Sinbad was tasked with climbing tall trees to shoot the beasts with a bow and arrow, a dangerous method that frequently resulted in brutal injuries when the elephants retaliated. During his hunting efforts, Sinbad discovered a profound secret known only to the elephants. They were guiding him to a hidden graveyard where tusks lay abandoned and scattered across the clearing. By simply leading the merchant to this rich, untouched site, he amassed an unbelievable hoard of ivory without having to slaughter any more animals. This clever discovery bought his freedom from slavery and cemented his final reputation as a man eternally favored by fortune. Returning to Baghdad one last time, Sinbad brought back the extraordinary wealth from the elephant graveyard and decided his days of harrowing ocean travel were finally over.
he settled down permanently, having faced every conceivable oceanic horror and survived them all through sheer intelligence, resilience, and occasional luck. His incredible life proved that immense risk often yields immense reward, but only at a constant, grueling personal cost to the adventurer.
The completed tales of Sinbad the Sailor are presented as a didactic lesson to a poor porter named Hindbad, illustrating the extreme hardship necessary to acquire great riches and endure misfortune. Sinbad's legendary voyages are not just fantastic adventures, they are parables of persistence, demonstrating that fortune rarely favors the faint of heart or the sedentary. They endure today as the ultimate testament to human endurance against the savage beauty and brutality of the natural world.